Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. This is Abby with Abby Reviews, and welcome to the Insomnia Chronicles. Okay, so here's what it is. This is gonna be my review and recap for Superman and Lois, season 1, episode 2. I would like you to know that it's 3:52 in the morning, and I cannot sleep. I have to be at work at 9:30. I have to be on the clock at 9:30. But since I cannot sleep, and there's a whole Superman and Lois episode for me to watch, it better not be. It's an hour. Okay, we can work with that. Let's get into the episode. I need something to cleanse me after having to watch that garbage basketball wives bullshit. Let's get into something that I actually care about, shall we? Yes, let's. I don't know what the hell's been happening. Oh, they testing the war suit with the man. All right, so oh God, they have officially moved into the farmhouse to the Smallvilles, and the Jonathan is complaining that he hasn't gotten the playbook yet, and Jordan is complaining about his school schedule, and then they like, don't worry about school for right now until we figure out what made you be able to blow stuff up with your eyeballs and how we can prevent that from happening while you're at school so nobody gets hurt. You don't get to go to school. He was like, fuck. I think getting superpowers would make this shit easier, but no, now it's just worse now. Just a bigger freak. Jesus Christ. And so clearly Clark is in his feelings because he doesn't know how to help Jordan. And Lois is trying to talk him off the ledge. And he was like, they'll get it together eventually. Pause before the babies get to talking. So Lex Luthor, Captain Luthor, whatever, is not testing his war suit. He is there to secure some kryptonite. And they open the vault. Ain't no kryptonite in there. And the man says, we ain't got none. We ain't had none for a while, sir. So Captain Luthor goes back to the ship, and his ship Siri is talking to him, talking about, I guess you ain't get it. And he was like, no, she's like, your suit is running out of power. And he was like, well, we got to figure out where we can get some more, I guess, to power the suit as well. And he said, we got to hurry. And he took his, is he blind? Can he not see? Because it looks like something's wrong going on with his eyes. He's like, we got to stop Kal-El from doing with this world what he did to mine. What did he do in your world, boo-boo? What happened? And why do you think he would do that? Clearly he's fine. So I am confused. Pause. A lot happened. Pause. So the boys are getting ready to leave. They talking to each other. Jonathan said this is the first time I can ever remember in a long time when going to school and you're not there with me. And he's like, I know. And he puts on his big heavy coat. Jordan puts on this big heavy coat, and he was like, where are we going? Are we flying somewhere? And he said, yes. And so he says, and so Clark says, hold on. And him and Jordan take off on flight. And Jonathan's like, this is unfair. I gotta go to school, and he gets to fly around with Dad. I want to fly around with Dad. That's not fair. And he was like, and his mom was like, yeah, but we got the radio. That's not a fair comparison, Mom. That's okay. So he gets to school, he sees old girl, and apparently her boyfriends and his stupid friends are all on the football team, and that's why he didn't get the playbook. And so he's really going through it, and he would really Clark takes Jordan to the Fortress of Solitude, and they put in the little chip, and it explains what happened with Krypton, and he meets Jor-El, the AI for Jor-El, his dad. And like, it's a lot of information to download and decipher and understand and absorb, but Jordan seems to be handling it okay. Yes, he does. Meanwhile, Lois is at the local diner researching this Edge person, CEO man, who has got like extortion, intimidation. He doing all kinds of shit to, I guess, take over whatever he needs to take over. And so, of course, Lana and her fireman husband come up to her, and he's like, why are you writing about Morgan Edge? Mind your damn business, man. Hell. I don't like Lana's husband, and I hope he comes around, gets his head out of his ass and comes around. So Lana invites Lois and her family to a barbecue at her house the next day at 7 o'clock. And then the mayor comes in and talks to the fireman husband, and tell him, is he ready for tonight? And he was like, yes, sir. And he walks off to go talk to the mayor, and Lois knows the answer, talk about what's happening tonight. And Lena was like, oh, just a city councilman meeting. And now Lois is going to show up with her nosy ass at the councilman meeting to see what the fuck is going on, because the girl got a nose for news. And we're moving on. Lord. All right, so this little bird-faced girl has been in 2 different places that Lois was, and Lois rolled up on her and said, do I know you, bitch? Like, what the fuck is happening here? Who the fuck are you? And she was like, oh my god, I work for the Gazette, the Small Gazette. If you ever want to write an article, because our editor thinks you have hung the moon, daughter, come on through. And so okay, fine. So I'm gonna finish this part out with Lois, and then we'll go to Lois's daddy being a jackass. All right, so of course, Lois brings the boys with her to the city councilman meeting, and they see Lana's daughter there. And she was like, and she babbles. She's like, she gets diarrhea of the mouth. She babbles about the playbook, and then Jordan is looking at Jonathan, because Jonathan didn't tell him that he had a shitty day at school without him, because he loves him, because they're brothers. Fabulous. All right, so they have the city council, the fireman husband introduces the mayor, who introduces Mr. Edge, CEO, to come in. And he says the estimated jobs is about 600. And everybody's like, oh my God, it is going to be revitalized. Okay. And so they then Lois asks one question. She says, so you said the jobs is about 600. He's like that. She said, that's just an estimate. He was like, yes, you can't really guarantee a number of jobs. And he was like, why? She was like, because I would hate for what happened at Carthage to happen here. And he was like, what do you mean? He was like, overestimating job creation by 50%, not paying people a living wage, stuff like that. And then he pulled the end run on her and like turned the whole town against her, just by saying that her asking that one question makes him want to rethink taking a risk on Smallville and providing all of these. All right, let's backtrack. So as Lois is getting ready to go, they meet back at the house. Lois drives up with Jonathan. Clark arrives with Jordan. And Jordan and Jonathan go and talk to each other. And then Lois is like, she's like, you took him to the fortress? And he was like, yes. And he was like, he took it well. Tomorrow we're going to go back and settle his skills. She's like, we've been invited to a barbecue. Don't be there too late. He's like, okay, cool. And then there's like, her dad is driving up, and he's got his gay work face on. So they're like, okay, cool. She runs off to the city council meeting. The daddy comes in. He shows Clark this video of the man breaking into the place. They don't know that he's looking for kryptonite at this juncture, but he did blow up this facility. And he drove his spaceship over there, and they gave it some kind of signature. So if he fires up the spaceship, they got his ass. So then they start having a personal conversation, and the daddy is mad. He's like, why did you move them out of town? You in Metropolis. Jonathan is hurting his football chances. Jordan is never going to fit in with the kids in Smallville. He's like, why would you move your whole entire family? He's like, oh my God, you told your boys you're Superman? Why would you do that? That's going to tear your family apart. He's like, I'm trying to keep my family together, if you must know. Something's up with Lois's daddy. Like, he act like he accepted, but he being a real dickhead about absolutely everything. And nobody needs that in their lives. So the daddy gets a phone call, talk about somebody's in Moldavia. No, he said Peru. Somewhere else. And then poof, Clark is gone. And I think he's going to run into my man with Lex Luthor. Let's see what happens. Pause. So, hold on. Oops. So, Luthor gets to wherever's facility that he thought some kryptonite is. He scanned the area and it's ain't nothing there. And then Superman shows up, and he was like, who the hell are you? He's like, stop. And he was like, what do you want? And Lex Luthor said, I want you. He was like, why? What did I do to you? He's like, it's not me. You destroyed my whole planet. And he's like, oh. And he takes it, and they fight in the air and all manners of bullshit. And so he punches him out of the atmosphere, punches him down to the ground, and then Superman is about to suit him, I guess. And the ship takes off. He's like, I know you hit a bomb on my ship. You can either leave me alone or go save them. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? And then we went to commercial. This is a lot that's happening in the first 25 minutes of this show, and it's a whole hour long. But I digress. Before we get back to the fortress. So Clark is telling Lois about the man and how he said he's from a different planet and blah, 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 blah. Oh, God, poor Jonathan is really going through it, and the resentment is starting to kick in. He's trying to study the playbook. He was at practice, and the coach, he was like, Coach, am I going to get at least a few touches today? And he was like, I need you to learn the offense first. And he was like, well, can you just put me just in just to see, I think I could pretty much pick it up. And he was like, okay. And so he put him in. He gave him a play. He put him in. The first one didn't go too well. He put him in. They did another play, and then one of the other boys came around and of course tackled him and said, "We already got a quarterback." So it's not going Jonathan's way, which is not normally how. He didn't get the superpowers. He had to leave his girlfriend and his inspiring football career to come to Smallville just to be a help to his brother. And his mama says this, but she's like, you're a good brother. I know you gave up your whole identity just to come here, and now it's not working as well. He's not most favorite son at this juncture. His brother got the superpower, so now he has his father's favor. So he thinks, not knowing that your father doesn't have favorites, he loves both of you equally. You're both a pain in his ass. Pretty much. That's how children work. But you can start to see some of the cracks in the Jonathan, the good son, always perfect, charismatic young man. So that's starting to crackle around the edges a little bit. Hopefully his powers come in. Okay, pause. What is it with the daddies on this show being jackasses to people? I'm gonna let the Jor-El. I'm gonna let him live because he's AI, so he really doesn't have feelings like that. But they did scans, and he said that Jordan will never be able to produce the Superman powers at will or command them because his human DNA is too limiting. He's like the super strength and the laser beam eyes was just a one-off. We don't know if he'll be able to reproduce it. He definitely won't be able to reproduce it on command. I'm sorry you feel that your son is not going to be like you. He's just not. And unfortunately, Jordan heard that and he walked off. Why? Like, tact is a thing. Jesus. Before we get to this barbecue at Lana's house. Damn it. Okay, so let's go into Lois. First of all, Lois is writing this story about Morgan Edge, and she was talking to Clark about it. He was like, but he owns the Daily Planet. He's not gonna allow you to write an article where it starts out that he's a vampire sucking the life energy out of these towns. And she was like, well, listen, what I need you to understand is I have a gut feeling about this. I feel like he's coming to suck the energy out of this town. That's what he does. I don't want to end this like the 3 other towns that he did this to. This may be the reason why I needed to come back to Smallville. So, all heroes don't wear capes. Let me do my Lois Lane thing while you do your Superman thing. Thank you. Mind my business, sir. And so now they get back home. The boys are fighting. Because Jordan is upset that the AI said he ain't got no superpowers. He ain't told his brother that yet. His brother comes down the stairs. He's pissed off. He's like, he got the shaft because Jordan kissed the girl. Now all the football team is against him. So they have an issue. They arguing with each other. Lois puts her foot down. She was like, listen, damn it. We came down here to this fucking small town to be a family, and that's what the fuck we gonna do. We gonna be a damn family. So get upstairs and get dressed because we got somewhere to be as a fucking family. Damn it. I said, oh, well, all right then. I guess y'all get dressed. Okay, so Lois has a conversation with fireman husband who's trying to tell her, don't fuck this up for the town. We need these jobs. She was like, he's like, I looked up the other town and they want to do a union, which would have bankrupted old boy. So he understands why I didn't work over there. Blah, 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 blah. come to some kind of meeting of the minds. Lois is still not seeing it for this man, but she understands where the fireman husband is coming from. So she then sees her article, which has been completely changed. I don't know why she thought that article was going to get through when the man owns the paper. And it turns into a complete fluff piece. And she's like, well, he's not allowed to do that. Meanwhile, back at the Department of Defense where Lois' daddy worked, Luther done showed up in his suit. Why Lois' daddy, all the troops come out with their guns? Why Lois' daddy start shooting him up when he been fighting Superman in that same suit? And daddy, in his infinite wisdom, thought that them shooting bullets at this man in this suit was going to do anything but aggravate him. I do not know. I don't understand the logic behind it, but he also pressed the super button for Clark to come over there. So let's see what happens. Okay. Pause. So they shooting at the suit, and then the suit takes out the cameras, and he sends all the people out, and then the power comes out. And then the guy in the suit comes in and says to Lois's daddy, listen, you gotta help me. You gotta stop protecting him. He's like, who, Superman? He's like, stop calling him that. He's like, you gotta help me stop him before he destroys your planet too. You and I come from the same place. And he gives him some dog tags. They're in the shape of a Superman. We need this man's backstory ASAPington. Because we gotta figure out what the fuck his PTSD is. And why does he not know this Superman is not the same as the Superman that destroyed his planet? That's my question. He's trying to plant seeds of division between Lois' daddy and Superman. I don't know. Because the daddy already shaky. I hope he has enough familiar connection not to let the divisiveness in. He got sense enough to know better. But these things normally sense don't really work out in these type of situations. But we'll see. Now Lois is at the house probably sad that they're not going to fix her piece and put it back. But we'll see what happens. Before they get a heartwarming moment with their daddy. Hold on. Can I just say I love the relationship between the twins? I love them. So Jordan comes into Jonathan's room, and Jonathan's FaceTiming his girlfriend. She says goodbye. Poof, pow. And he was like, you're right. I never said thank you. You moved here for me, and I never even thanked you. And he was like, you don't have to thank me. You're my brother. And he was like, are you half Kryptonian? What's going on? He was like, not according to holograms. The disrespect of calling him holograms is not beyond me, but I'm here for it. And so he was like, we don't care what the hologram says. If anybody is going to help you figure out what the fuck is going on with you, it's going to be me. I love Jonathan. And now their daddy is telling them to sit down and he's going to have a conversation. I hope this goes well. Wait a damn minute. Okay. So Lois went into the Daily Planet and she said, you changed my article. And he's like, I'm not going to be posting that dribble because it's not true, even though it was. And she was like, cool, here. And she gave him a letter. She's like, it's the best thing I've wrote since you took over. And it said, simply, I quit. That was the politest fuck you, I'm out I've ever seen. So she walks out like a badass. She goes to the Smallville Gazette, which is run by the little bird girl. I can't think of her name right now. She's the younger Edna Mode. That's what I get. That's the vibe I get from her. And so Clark has a conversation with the boys. He gives him the little beeper thingy and tells him he can go to school. So they're starting to get back. He's like, I'm going to try and do a better job of being a dad and Superman and make it work. So we then go to Mr. Luthor, and he's talking to his Siri, and she was like, we're going to have to build you another suit, and we need some more kryptonite. I guess it'll take a minute to find the supplies. He's like, we have time. She was like, yes, because your Kal-El is clearly not the same as the Kal-El that you're used to. And then he has a flashback where him and with his planet's version of Lois's daddy was fighting a war against Superman, and Superman came and laser visioned all of them and killed him. And that's what he gave him his Superman dog tags that said hell on the back of it. So he was like, yeah, he's not like my Kal-El yet. Bruh. That was the end of episode 2 of Superman and Lois. I am thoroughly enjoying this because clearly it's 5 o'clock in the morning and I'm still up. And I'm actually perky, which is very scary. But I enjoyed this episode. We even got, I was like, I need pronto answers. It's like they heard me and gave us a little backstory about Luthor. So we'll see what happens in the next episode. Did you watch it? Are you enjoying it? What do you think is going to happen? I feel like Jonathan Powers is going to come online in like the next episode or 2. And then they're going to be dealing with 2 of them. Bum, bum, bum. But this has been my review and recap of Superman and Lois season 1 episode 2. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a kin. And I will catch you in the next one. Peace.